Massage therapist or masseuse, have you ever had a session turn with a client? How did it go down? Not my story, but a co-worker's. He was giving a massage to a client and things were getting flirty. She was an attractive woman and he pushed it. Well, I guess he sucked at reading clues because she was married and was being friendly. She filed a complaint on him and he ended up losing his license. A true story that should be up top. My mom and dad ran their own massage therapy business. My mom always said if a guy started giving any kind of signals that she would just start asking him about his mother. She said it never failed her. Edit, thank you strangers for my first ever silver. I went from silver virgin to silver threesome in a flash. Edit part 2, and now a foursome. Boy, is she gonna be surprised one day when some guy with an Oedipus complex shows up for a massage. Also, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up enjoying this video, consider subscribing with notification on. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. Oh, I have a story as a client. I used to live in a great city located in Southern California. Across the street where I lived was a massage parlor ran out of an old historic home. I used to frequent as much as I could afford and things were great, or so I thought. I had never been to a masseuse before then and thought big tubs, showers, and champagne was normal since it was the only point of reference I had. After each session I had, the ladies frequently asked me if I needed anything else or wanted to extend. Being very budget conscious, I'd say no thank you. It was great though. I'd get dressed and go home. On my last occasion though, things just felt off. She had me flip from my stomach and massaged my quads and let her fingers drift a little and would ask me if I wanted anything more. I'd sheepishly reply no. This is great. Thank you. As we finished she asked me one more time if I'd like anything else, but I declined. A few weeks later I'm walking home from work and the police are all over my street. As many of you have already guessed, they were busting the place for being a known brothel. I tiptoed back home and waited for them to come to my house and bust me. But thankfully that never happened. YTF, is everyone's mom a massage therapist? Most therapists don't massage 40 hours a week. Most therapists work non-traditional hours. Combine the two and you have an excellent profession for women who need to provide childcare. My mom is a massage therapist. She has worked at several chiropractic offices. Oftentimes, if you're good enough and trustworthy enough, the chiropractors will give you the keys so you can see clients on the weekends. I once had to take an Uber to her work when she was scheduled to massage this one guy. He was married and new to the US. He had been sending messages to my mom, which made her question his intent, but chalked it up to him not speaking a lot of English. I get a call from her telling me to Uber to her place of work as soon as possible. Apparently the guy had sent a message with this code phrase that in the massage world means things are going to become. So I'm the first to arrive. My mom gets there and tries to downplay the situation to make herself feel better by saying things like, well, maybe he just didn't know what that meant. I could be drawing a conclusion that isn't true. He has a wife after all. Man comes in with candy and flowers. He sees me sitting in the chair really confused. Hands them to my mom. She massages him. He pays her. Gives me a sideways glance and leaves. My mom was a massage therapist for a few years. Never shared if when she had issues like that, but there was one couple who would come in for separate sessions about every 2 to 3 weeks. Apparently one day, the wife jokes that the massages are better than. My mom, since they're all on good terms, jokes with the husband about it the next time he's in. He pulls his head out of the pillow long enough to say, "Don't make me choose, I can't choose." Edit, he was saying he couldn't choose between with his wife versus a massage from my mom. I was totally expecting this to take a turn somewhere and I'm glad it didn't. Former esthetician here. Not a masseuse, but I performed waxing on all parts of the body, so I certainly have a story or two. So, there's the Brazilian wax, which is everything gone from your downstairs, front and back. Salons have a male version they cheekily like to call manzillions. I've had a number of these, and without fail, when it comes time to take the towel away and start, there's at least a semi-chub going on. I'd explain that this happens with everyone, as aren't very self-aware, they just know they're out, there's a lady, and they're just happy to be there. I'd then place my first of wax, let it set, then RIP, and it would be like letting the air out of a balloon. Strangely, I never got any phone numbers. Oh, and to do your butthole you have to be on all fours. A guy I know ended up dating his chiropractor. There was mild flirting for a few sessions, and then she messaged him to say that he would need to switch to getting treated by a different chiro at the practice. He was pretty disappointed until she hinted, because we aren't allowed to date our clients. Few weeks later, so, babe, Dr. Steven doesn't do that inner quad massage that you used to do. Was that? Yup. Totes inappropriate. 10 out of 10 would injure back again. Just curious, is an ethics class part of the coursework when getting your massage license? In the US anyways, yes. But that only matters if you want to get or maintain a license. If you want a quick buck then it doesn't matter. That's just called or rape, depending. In 15 years, I've had 4 guys try to turn the session. Grosses me out. I make sure to give their name and phone number to all of my therapist friends as a heads up, because if they tried with me, they're gonna try another therapist until they get lucky. Friend, thanks for the heads up. Immediately books appointment with the dude. I'm a physiotherapist, but I have extensive training in deep tissue massage and dry needling. Pretty much every time I treat my girlfriend it ends with probably the closest thing to an answer you're gonna get. You're probably not gonna hear any stories about people with licenses doing anything with someone as if it ever got out they would immediately lose their billing number. But I will say I've worked in a gym before where the RMT was sleeping with a few of his patients in and outside of the gym. My mom's a masseuse and she says there are a lot of instances where clients try to make things, but she never reciprocate, but it can get pretty nasty. One time she told me that a dude asked her to massage down there and she refused, so he grabbed her? And just kept his hand there for a while, and my mom didn't know what to do, so she just kept doing her job. There are also instances of people calling to make appointments and ending the call with do you guys suck it, because I guess they think they're being subtle. Other than that, there's a lot of unnecessarily moaning, but my mom just thinks that's funny. Edit, okay, to everyone saying that they've moaned during a massage, I'm not talking about regular moaning. There's a level of that in most of my mom's clients, and it's not a big deal it happens, my mom's immune to it by now. What I'm talking about is a couple of times people moan so loud that the entire store hears, and sometimes they'll get an erection, happens more often than you'd think tbh, and say something that's the equivalent of "Are you going to do anything about this?" And when my mom is "Nah," they tip her terribly. Everyone who gets a massage and moans, "You guys are fine." Most of my mom's coworkers see it as a compliment to their skills. One of my friend's exes was a massage therapist. She said she constantly had people asking for handjobs, or to wear a low-cut shirt and such. Don't actual places for that exist in every major city? Why bother someone who could lose their job over it? Chances of them calling the cops is low. Going to a known rub and tug could be a great chance to get arrested for and in trouble with the wife. So I used to work at this massage in Florida. It wasn't anything fancy, but it did the job. And we had a couple regulars that would come in maybe once a week. So this one regular that always asked for me came in one day, and we started the usual small talk while I was prepping my things. And he says that he just recently got out of a really bad marriage. Our massage place isn't one that does happy endings, but I've given a handjob to a client before. So this guy isn't bad looking, maybe 7/10, good job, nice car. He always tips nice. So towards the end of the massage he asks if he could get extra. I was confused at first and said, "You can always get a shampoo or go in our massage chair for extra $1." He said, "No, I mean, can you do something extra?" At this point I know what he meant and I smirked. So he flipped over to lay on his back and face me, and I went to whisper in his ear Epstein didn't kill himself. I have different side of story. I was about 15 years old when that happened, and it still gives me creeps. After a car accident I was assigned a massage therapist to massage my shoulder, since it was injured. Nothing else, just my hand and shoulder. So I come to this session and I see this really young guy waiting for me. I asked him, "Can I keep my clothes?" and he said that I should be in my underwear. Already felt weird, but whatever, I carried on. So I lay on the table and he massages me, when suddenly he starts massaging my back. Then lower back. I already felt super uncomfortable at this point. And then he pulls a bit of my underwear. And think of fact that his hands were really oily, he slipped his hands right in between my. Oh my god. It was almost the end of the session and it did not last long, but I was so shocked that I freezed. I dressed up and I went to the reception to cancel any sessions with him. I did not report the accident. All the receptionist said, "What went wrong?" The old ladies love this guy, you will make one happy by giving your space. My massage therapist told me of a time a very hot woman was in for the first time. He told her to undress to her comfort level and left for her to do so. Usually at this point you then lay down under the sheet, but he entered a few minutes later to find her sitting naked in a chair asking what she should do next. He gives more detailed instructions now.